talk to any game developer is the game's never finished. At one point in time, you have to go, okay, this is where we're going to cut it, and we need to take everything that we have, make it the best possible, put it out, and then whatever we don't get to will be the next game or DLC.
June 29th, 2023, AEW Fight Forever is finally released. Review scores and impressions were average at best. The hope came in the form of future DLC. Within 6 months of its release, we are already in a second season of content, but it hasn't changed the player's perspective. And now AEW Fight Forever has released something that I find pretty disappointing. But let's talk about the first bit of news that is coming out and being reported. This one's coming over from Fightful. It looks like Saraya has been scanned and could possibly be added to the Season 2 pass of DLC. The Season 2 pass includes a couple of things: the AEW Dynamite Arena and the Acclaimed, which have already been released. The next drop is going to be Beat the Elite, which is going to be their tournament mode. And the final DLC is supposed to be The Storm is Coming with Toni Storm. If Saraya is added to the DLC, it's likely in The Storm is Coming, the final DLC, because the only character we know about is going to be Toni Storm. And I say she's likely to come into this pack for 2 reasons. Number 1, this final DLC pack needs more, and if it's only Toni Storm, it doesn't line up with every other DLC pack they have offered, where it's been 2 wrestlers, and in Season 1 it was 2 wrestlers plus 2 additional mini games being sold. The second reason is that Toni Storm's model is based on her Outcast version, so it would make a lot of sense based on the development cycle that Saraya's model is also based off her time with the Outcast. So we would probably see this version of Saraya being added in, giving her full entrance, theme song, but likely giving us a tag team entrance with Toni Storm as part of the Outcast. If she doesn't get added to the Season 2 content, it's a big miss. And if they position her and others into a Season 3 drop or beyond, it's not going to be enough for any players to come back in my opinion. And there's a big reason why players may not be coming back at all, because the community online and players in general are feeling a little bit ripped off right now, and they're pretty disappointed with this news. Let me explain. The troubling part that we're talking about is that AEW Fight Forever just released the Bring the Boom edition. This is available across all platforms. You're getting the main game and all of the Season 1 and 2 DLC in one package. The mini games, the new Dynamite Arena, the tournament mode, which they have not officially explained or shown gameplay trailer or anything for that mode, despite the leaks coming out online. And they're also advertising 10 new tracks. I assume that's audio tracks. This is where players are feeling cheated and ripped off. Remember at the beginning I said the game released on June 29th? We're not even 6 months into the game release, and we have now gone through 3 versions of the game being sold. And this version of the game that is just released and here in Canada is coming out at $89.99 plus tax.
Oh wait, you serious?
And for more context, the total cost of players just here in Canada alone, that's over $100 for this version of the game. Here's the problem that players are having. They feel cheated and find the whole thing troubling because the Elite Edition is still at full price and the base edition is still at full price with no discounts. But the bigger issue is players feeling like when they bought the Elite Edition all the way up until a week ago, they would have felt that they were getting the ultimate version of the game and that they would just have to buy Season 2. And a lot of the feedback is now they're feeling cheated about all of this because they have now released another version of the game, and now that version is feeling like the mid-tier. The individual DLC options are also still an issue. On Xbox Canada, for example, none of the DLC from Season 1 is discounted, and they're still charging full price for everything individually. A lot of players have even said that when the game originally launched, it kind of felt like a demo, and it felt like we were getting sold a beta version of AEW Fight Forever. And since then we have had the different DLC packs drop, but the original core game was so hollow and felt unfinished and mediocre. And when it comes to the DLC options that we've seen, a lot of the feedback online is just that people are not overly excited and haven't been overly excited about any of them. In particular, the early ones that have still cost players $14.99 individually unless they got the season pass. And they didn't like the fact also that they were getting mini games included, which was increasing the price. And now with the season 2 pass, we've seen that mini games are now gone and they haven't added in any more. And by the way, if you were somebody that was feeling like they enjoyed mini games and that they liked the inclusion of them, they have now pulled that out as part of the selling point of the DLC. This is only but one of the issues plaguing the DLC model. Even if AEW Fight Forever released more patches, more updates, new match types, new mode, This DLC model that they're doing, I feel, is a problem. In less than 6 months, they're selling players a new version of an already problematic game. And this version and bundle, it really feels like it's what they wanted to originally release at launch, giving you 3 tiered options of what to pick and 3 different price points to service the audience. Let's assume for a second that Fight Forever releases Season 3 Pass in January. And let's assume for a second that pack gives you Edge, Adam Copeland, you're getting Sky Blue, Jamie Hayter, Swerve, and a few others to go with it.
No. Is that enough? Should I keep going?
Let's also assume we don't see any new match types or modes added to the core experience.
Why are you the way that you are?
The consumer is probably going to look at the future content and just say, I'll wait. Because what AEW Games is doing, in my opinion, is they are telling the consumer, when we drop new content, you could just wait it out and we're gonna bundle it later anyways. So the next game bundle will give you season 1, 2, 3, and the game all together, but now it's gonna cost you over $100. The positioning of this bundle can really turn off people from picking up any future content at all. And not to mention, it really sour people who bought the Elite Edition thinking they got everything.
What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
Can the game be salvaged though? What can they do? Much of the chatter is, well, we need new modes, we need new match types, we need more.
I know more than you.
All right.
And we also need more communication. I agree with all of that, but based off of this edition of the game coming out, based on the rollout, the lack of communication, and how they're positioning all this, it feels like we are going to get this continuous churn of just, here's another season of content, 3 different things, keep players a little bit busy, and that's about it. Individual DLC prices are way too aggressive.
Slash it.
Not even discounting the elite versions of the game or the base game right now, especially even at the holidays, to maybe make a little bit more money and revenue off the game, is also a problem. And the loyal hardcore audience, or those that bought the game day one, have really turned away from this and are really not wanting to give any more attention or give any more money and time to this game.
I don't want to seem overdramatic, but I don't really care what happens here.
And if you're souring your core audience, no amount of DLC drops coming out is going to bring anybody back, because you're showing players that you don't care and that you just want to make that dollar amount. And I understand that from the business side, but the game is felt by the community that it was positioned to be this alternate experience, arcade style, nostalgia feeling game that was going to speak to that AEW audience and give players what they've been clamoring for, and it didn't deliver, and it still hasn't delivered. They're able to pull out numerous amounts of content drops, pushing out multiple season passes already discussions of a season 3 pass, but the core game experience is still a problem. So the trust is broken for a lot of players, the updates have not been substantial enough, and the whole thing is just very disappointing.